आप ही हैं सब कुछ मेरी जिंदगी में, और ये जिंदगी भी आप ही के लिए।
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is a leader whose secular credentials are always questioned by the Western media. The Time magazine publishing from United States even described him as the divider-in-chief in its May 2019 international edition. Modi gained international attention after the 2002 Gujarat riots, which happened when he was the chief minister of the state. The 2002 Gujarat riots was a 3-day period of Hindu-Muslim violence in the western Indian state of Gujarat. The burning of a train in Godhra on the 27th of February 2002 by a Muslim mob of 1,000 to 2,000 people caused the deaths of 58 Hindu pilgrims returning from the Hindu holy city of Ayodhya. The ensuing riots caused casualties of 790 Muslims and 254 Hindus, and some put the total figure at 2,000 casualties. Then Chief Minister of the state Narendra Modi was accused of condoning the violence, as were police and government officials who allegedly directed the rioters and gave lists of Muslim-owned properties to them. In 2012, Modi was cleared of complicity in the violence by special investigation team appointed by the Supreme Court of India. The SIT also rejected claims that the state government had not done enough to prevent the riots. It is also noteworthy that Congress-led government of Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was in power in India during that time, and not a government aligned with Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party. If there was a way to implicate Modi, the Congress government in power definitely would have done that. In 2022, Supreme Court of India upheld the clean chit given by SIT to Narendra Modi. Even today, how the train got fire in Godhra is inconclusive. Some of Modi's top bureaucrats during the riots, like IPS officers Sanjeev Bhatt and RB Srikumar, are still highly critical of Modi's role during the riots. But the Hindus of India didn't want to believe the special investigation report. The Hindu majority considered Modi as a hero because in the history of India, that was the first time a Muslim atrocity was given a befitting reply, and it had its positive effects too. Hindu-Muslim riots were a way of life for the Gujaratis before 2002. Every single year, state's major city Ahmedabad and some of the other hotspots used to be in imposed curfew for at least 3 months due to communal violence. But the good news is that, after the Godhra incident, the communal tensions and the violence that followed became a thing of past, indicating that at least someone had learned their lessons from the incident. This, along with the development work he undertook in the state that transformed Gujarat, after he became the chief minister, ascended Narendra Modi to the chair of Indian Prime Minister. Now the question is, did Modi really divide India after he became the Prime Minister? India was always a divided country. Divided by language, culture, religion, caste, and you name it, India got it. The media outcry about increased violence against the Muslim community in India after Modi came to power is baseless if we look at the statistics. The communal incidents remained unchanged after 2014, when Modi took over the reins, or in fact has come down in some years. According to the NCRB data, 2020 saw 857 cases of communal riots being registered across the country, as compared to 438 in 2019. Most of the 2020 cases are attributed to the Northeast Delhi riots between the Anti- and Pro-Citizenship Amendment Act protesters. Now let us look at the atrocities committed by Modi government against minority communities. Allegation 1. Modi made Hindus just like us. It is true that Modi and the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party has pushed the country from secularism to Hindu nationalism. But it is also a fact that India's secularism, though not designed to be so, ended up being more or less a pathway to minority appeasement, to the frustration of the majority community. The minority communities voted in blocs unlike the majority community, and that decided election victories. So, the politicians were left with no other choice but to appease the minorities. BJP's success was in uniting Hindu votes instead of depending on minority votes like other major political parties. All the political parties in India, including the Communist Party, are guilty of the same crime of using the religion to meet their ends. The only crime BJP did was to use majority community instead of the minorities like the rest has done. In that process, after they came to power, BJP also curtailed the activities of non-government organizations which worked with vested interests, and was successful in creating a deep sense of Hindu victimhood with the slogan, "Hindus are in danger." Organized religion is the most dangerous thing in the world and is instrumental in bringing misery, violence and genocide in this world. Islam, Christianity, Judaism and Sikhism are organized religions, but at the same time Hinduism is not even a religion, but a way of life. What BJP did in India is to turn Hinduism into an organized religion. So, the main complaint against BJP, raised by the minority communities, is that you made Hindus same like us. And that should be treated as a very serious allegation. The propagated bitter relationship between Modi government and the Muslim community mostly arisen from the false narratives of media and other Muslim organizations. Most of the time it is the reluctance of the Muslim community to accept a Hindu nationalist government at the center is behind the resentment. Allegation number 2. The Citizenship Amendment Act. If we look at Modi's 8 years in power impartially, none of the Modi government's policies are anti-minority or anti-Muslim. The most criticized policies like Citizenship Amendment Act are born out of necessity and compassion and brought out with thoughtful introspection. The Citizenship Amendment Act, 2019, or CAA, is an act that was passed in the Parliament on December 11, 2019, allowing Indian citizenship for Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi and Christian religious minorities who fled from neighboring Muslim-majority countries of Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan before December 2014 due to religious persecution or fear of religious persecution. Obviously, for common sense reasons, Muslim community is excluded. These three nations are infamous for minority persecution, and showing compassion is necessary because India is the mother country for Hindus, Jains and Buddhists. The main argument against the bill was that it enshrines a pathway to citizenship for immigrants that specifically excludes Muslims, setting a legal criterion for citizenship based on religion. But if persecution is based on religion, unfortunately the criterion for citizenship also has to be based on religion. In Muslim countries, Shias don't like Sunnis, Sunnis don't like Shias and both together don't like Ahmadiyas. But that should not be an Indian's concern, especially when India was once divided on religious grounds. Even today, when Muslim population goes up in certain areas, there's always been a demand to form separate districts based on religion. Considering all those factors, this is the most sensible piece of legislation. An intelligent nation should always learn from history. This happened at a time government caved into the demands of northeastern states to expel Bangladeshi illegal immigrants who happened to be mostly Muslims. No country in the world encourages illegal immigration. United States wants to build a wall. Australia ensures that illegal immigrants rot in detention centers forever. Allegation number 3. Abrogation of Article 370. Another of Modi's most criticized legislation is its decision to abrogate Article 370 for Jammu and Kashmir. Article 370 of the Indian Constitution gave special status to Muslim-majority Jammu and Kashmir, a region located in the northern part of Indian subcontinent and part of the larger region of Kashmir, which has been the subject of a dispute between India, Pakistan and China since 1947. Article 370, which was intended to be a temporary measure, became permanent because of the irresponsible behavior of Indian ruling class, and that in later years brought many issues. On 5 August 2019, Indian Home Minister Amit Shah moved a resolution to scrap Article 370 in the Rajya Sabha and divide the state of Jammu and Kashmir into two, with Jammu and Kashmir serving as one of the Union territories, and Ladakh serving as a separate Union territory. This was a move every Indian demanded for decades, but no administrator had the guts to do except Narendra Modi. At the time of India's partition in 1947, sectarian fear and hatred on all sides had been stoked to such a level that millions of Muslims fled north to Pakistan, while Hindus escaped in the opposite direction. Both sides carried out terrible massacres. But while virtually majority of Hindus left Pakistan, the overwhelming majority of Muslims stayed in India. With 170 million members of the faith, India has the world's second-largest Muslim population, larger than Pakistan's, smaller only to Indonesia. The first Hindu nationalist government in India was headed by a polished secularist, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Narendra Modi, by contrast, appeared to represent a decisive break with the sacrosanct value of secularism. While his role in the 2002 riots remained highly controversial, he remained an ascetic, pious son of the soil rather than the kind of westernized figures who had long ruled India since independence. Modi's victory looked like the nightmare India's Muslims had long dreaded. Defending secularism is still good politics in India, though the meaning of secularism has been changed to minority appeasement. For his rivals, the only way forward was to project Modi as anti-Muslim and propagated the myth that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's relations with the Muslim community are frosty at best, bitter at worst. Any contrary opinion is treated with disdain and ridicule. Allegation number 4. Modi, the champion of Muslim women. Today the Muslim women in India consider Modi as a champion prime minister who stood for their rights. At the core of his leadership is respect for human dignity. PM Modi's single step of abolishing the triple TALAQ has ensured that generations of Muslim women lead a better life. Triple TALAQ is a form of divorce that was practiced in Islam, whereby a Muslim man could divorce his wife by pronouncing the word talaq 3 times. The man need not cite any reason for the divorce and the wife need not be present at the time of pronouncement of talaq. Likewise, Modi government's decision to allow women to proceed on Hajj without mahram has been hailed a major step towards their empowerment. In 2017, in a bid to empower Muslim women, the Modi government has changed the law by permitting Muslim women to travel for the annual Hajj pilgrimage without any male attendant. No wonder when organized Islam consider him as enemy number 1, he managed to get the votes of Muslim women. Allegation number 5. Cow Vigilante Violence. After Modi came to power in 2014, the Western media has showered its attention on cow vigilante violence in India. Cattle slaughter is banned in most states in India. There definitely is a slight increase in such attacks carried out by some Hindu groups with the stated intention of protecting cows. In 2019, 13 such cow vigilante attacks were reported in India. In 2020 there was just one such incident was reported, and in 2021 5 such incidents were reported. What we must remember is, all these happened in a country of 1 billion population. Now you decide, did Modi really divide India? For those bombarded with foreign media narratives, Modi is a monster in power. Modi enjoys an approval rating of an average 75% in India, the highest any world leader can dream of. So what makes him tick all the boxes? Is it the Clean India program, Make in India program, economic revival of India that he oversaw, or the health insurance program that made him popular? I would say none of it. What made Modi popular is the fact that he brought dignity back to Indians. Even some 10 years back it was a disgrace to carry an Indian passport, which ensured second-class treatment anywhere in the world. Indians used to look at citizens of Western countries with admiration, the way their countries treat them. But after Modi came to power, whether it is Ukraine, Afghanistan or anywhere in the world, when Indians were in trouble the government was there to help them. He brought dignity back to Indians. Modi government is considered as efficient, strong and powerful. With so many enemy countries along its border, and a nation divided by race, culture, language and religion, Indians go to bed at night peacefully with the thought that they have a government that can protect them from any eventuality.